Welcome back, horror fans, cinephiles, and giallo enthusiasts. This is Tanner Leeser, your host for all things giallo here on The King in Giallo. Our next stop on our journey through giallo cinema is the only giallo film from Demofilo Fidani. A.A.A. Masseuse, Good Looking, offers her services, released on July 28, 1972. Well, let's waste no time and get right into it. Here is A.A.A. Masseuse, Good Looking, offers her services. Overview. A.A.A. Masseuse Good Looking offers her services, also called A.A.A. Massaggiatrice per presenza, offresi, which translates literally as A.A.A. Beautiful Masseuse Available, or Wanted Massage Therapist Good Looking Offered, is an Italian production. The film is directed by Demofilo Fidani, who also co-wrote the film along with Mila Vitelli Valenza. Music is composed by Curi. The cast is comprised of Paola Senatore as Cristina, Simonetta Vitelli as Paola, Renato Rossini, billed as Howard Ross as Oskar, Jerry Colman as Franco, Raffaele Curi as Marco, Carlo Gentili as Santino, Ettore Manni as the police commissioner, Jack Betts, billed as Hunt Powers, as Enrico Graziani, and Franco Ressel as D'Angelo. The plot follows Cristina, a young woman stifled by her strict father and passive mother who decides to leave home and take control of her life. Looking to earn quick money, she places an ad in the Roman classifieds offering her services as a masseuse, a thinly veiled euphemism for something more illicit. Before long, Cristina builds a discreet but lucrative client list and gains a reputation for being one of the most in-demand specialists in the city. But when several of her clients are found murdered, each with their throat slashed, she becomes a person of interest, and the police begin to suspect that Cristina may be hiding more than just her true profession. This sultry giallo blends light eroticism with equally restrained violence, yet the final result is surprisingly watchable. The film's awkward literal title, A.A.A. Masseuse Good Looking Offers Her Services, refers to a personal ad placed by the lead character. It likely drew in more members of the so-called raincoat crowd, the people wearing trench coats, than the traditional giallo fans, and this unfortunate title may also explain why the film remains buried among the genre's more obscure offerings. The plot is straightforward and largely familiar, but elevated by a protagonist who's more nuanced than expected. Cristina is no passive victim or clueless innocent. Her life has been marked by hardship, and she understands perfectly well how to manipulate the way men perceive her. She partners with a slick pimp named Oskar, but never cedes control to him. Throughout the film, Cristina maintains a clear sense of agency. While her decision to engage in sex work for fast cash might seem questionable, it's always clear she has a long-term goal: financial freedom and self-reliance. The film never judges her. It saves that disdain for the aging creeps who treat her as nothing more than a fetish object. Cristina remains a sympathetic and grounded presence, and the script and camera stay firmly on her side. As a thriller, however, the film is less effective. The murder scenes are serviceable at best, with little flair in terms of staging or special effects. The killer's identity isn't hard to figure out either, leaving the mystery angle without much tension. That said, the film still entertains on its own modest terms. A little more ambition in the murder set pieces could have gone a long way, but as it stands, it's still above average for this kind of production. In fact, by the standards of its director, Demofilo Fidani, this is something approaching a minor triumph. Born in Sardinia in 1914, Fidani entered the industry in 1948, starting out as an uncredited assistant to Licinio Visconti on La Terra Trema. Over the decades, he became something of a jack of all trades, serving as art director, set decorator, production designer, assistant director, producer, screenwriter, occasional actor, and, of course, director. His first brush with the giallo came as assistant director on Death on the Four-Poster, 1964. Fidani is most infamous for his bottom-barrel spaghetti westerns and polizieschi, including Django and Sartana's Showdown in the West, 1970, and Mafia Killer, 1973. So expectations for this giallo weren't exactly high, yet A.A.A. Masseuse finds Fidani in unexpectedly decent form. While it's far from stylish, there are occasional visual flourishes, some clever transitions, and unlike many of his better-known films, it actually moves at a decent pace. With a workable script and passable production values, Fidani demonstrates here that he could deliver something coherent and occasionally engaging when the stars aligned. Visually, the film is basic but effective. The sets are low budget but appropriately seedy, and the cinematography manages to capture a suitably grimy atmosphere, occasionally flavored with leftover pop art touches. The score by Lalo Gori is upbeat and lively, incorporating cues recycled from his earlier works on Mario Bava's Le spie fuggono dal semifreddo, 1966, and Four Times That Night, 1969. At the center of the film is Paola Senatore, who delivers a solid turn as Cristina, tough, smart, and undeniably watchable. Senatore was a mainstay in Italian exploitation throughout the 70s and 80s and would later appear in the gialli The Flower with the Deadly Sting, 1973, and The Killer Reserved 9 Seats, 1974. That second film saw her reuniting with Renato Rossini, billed here as Howard Ross, who co-stars in A.A.A. Masseuse as the manipulative yet oddly likable Oskar. Born in 1941, Rossini began acting in 1962, first appearing in peplum and westerns before transitioning into giallo and crime films. With his athletic build and ambiguous screen presence, he was frequently cast as killers, suspects, or hardened lawmen. His other genre credits include Five Dolls for an August Moon, 1970, The Pyjama Girl Case, 1977, and The New York Ripper, 1982. He retired from acting in the mid-1990s. Christina's father is played by Jack Betts, credited under his usual pseudonym, Hunt Powers. A familiar face from spaghetti westerns, Betts had worked with Fidani before, notably in Django Sartana's Showdown in the West. Later in life, he returned to working under his real name in the United States, landing roles in mainstream film and television. Notably, he portrayed Boris Karloff in Bill Condon's God and Monsters, 1998, and had a supporting role in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, 2002. The film's police inspector is portrayed by Ettore Manni, a veteran of Italian cinema. Born in 1927, Manni found fame in sword and sandal adventures like Attila, 1954, and Hercules and the Captive Women, 1961, and maintained a steady career in Italian genre films. But his personal life took a tragic turn when his long-term partner, actress Cristina, died of leukemia in 1975. Her death deeply affected him. Manni was in the midst of filming a role in Federico Fellini's City of Women, 1979, when he died under mysterious circumstances, officially ruled an accident after he shot himself in the groin, though many believe it was suicide. When City of Women was released in 1980, it brought him some of the most glowing reviews of his career, sadly, after his death. In the end, A.A.A. Masseuse isn't a lost classic, but it's far more watchable than its lurid title or its director's reputation would suggest. What could have been another disposable slice of sexploitation ends up offering a surprisingly sympathetic protagonist, some unexpectedly competent direction, and just enough sleaze to keep genre fans entertained. It's rough around the edges, and the mystery won't keep anyone guessing, but thanks to a strong lead performance and a rare moment of focus from Demofilo Fidani, this minor giallo manages to stand out, not for its style, but for its strange sincerity. For completionists and curiosity seekers alike, it's worth a look. Thank you for watching this overview video. As of the time of recording this, A.A.A. Masseuse Good Looking offers her services doesn't appear to be streaming anywhere, but can be found on YouTube in its entirety. Don't forget to support these movies by buying them on physical media wherever possible. Stay tuned for my unscripted movie review for A.A.A. Masseuse Good Looking offers her services, as well as the Gialli Tally. Comment your predictions for the AZ score for the movie and the final Gialli Tally score. Thank you very much for your continued support. This is Tanner Leeser for The King in Giallo, and if nothing else, I'll see you next time.
Ora, mamma, quando che sono venuti a pianne.